again. I'm going to do some more baking now, and I'm going to make this one a bit quicker than my last baking videos, and this one is all about baking Christmas gingerbread men. Now, gingerbread men don't know whether it's Christmas or Easter, of course, but I'm just going to add a little bit of decoration to these gingerbread men to make them a little bit Christmassy. And this is going to show you how to make very simple gingerbread and cut them into gingerbread shapes. So it's not very complicated, it's very easy to do, it doesn't use many components, and let's get started and bake some gingerbread men. Oh, sorry, bake some Christmas gingerbread men.
Our ingredients are as follows: 350 grams of plain flour, 1 tablespoonful of ground ginger, 1 teaspoonful of bicarbonate of soda, 100 grams of unsalted butter diced, 150 grams of light soft brown sugar, and 1 egg beaten, and also 4 tablespoonfuls of golden syrup. Once I've got my bicarbonated soda, flour and ginger into here, I'm just going to sieve that into the bowl. It's important to sieve it because it does get all the lumps out of the stuff that you're using, and it makes it a much less lumpy biscuit, really. I should say that while I'm doing this, we should preheat our oven to 180 degrees, gas mark 4. So it's all ready, because this actual recipe doesn't take all that long to do. So sieving the baking sugar, the baking mixture into the bowl. That's all done. The next job I have to do is to rub the butter into that. So I've got my butter, and I'm going to rub that in there until it reaches the consistency of fine breadcrumbs. So I've been rubbing in the flour and the bicarbonate of soda, and of course the ginger, into the unsalted butter now for 3 or 4 minutes, and you can see it's now a fairly small crummy constituency. In fact, it almost looks like sand, and that's what you're trying to aim for, so that you get all the lumps out of it. Once you've done that, we put that to one side, and now I'm going to whisk the egg. I'm going to use just a hand whisker for this, not too much doing, and I'm going to add the syrup to it. Now, one secret when you're adding, of course, syrup to anything is to have your spoon really nice and hot. So I'm going to put 4 tablespoonfuls of syrup now into there. So it's, oh, that's a decent one, isn't it? That's 1.5 really. 2, 3, and we'll give it a final decent one here, 4. So there's my 4 tablespoonfuls of syrup in the butter, so I can put all that to one side now. And now we give that a good whisk together to make sure it's all combined. So let's do that. And it's amazing how the syrup actually does combine really well with the egg. I'm going to do this for a little while until it's all nicely combined and fluid. You could use an electric one, of course, but it's not really necessary for this. It's quite a simple task to combine the egg and the syrup together until it's nice and runny. There it goes. You can feel it getting easier there. So I'm going to put that to one side, somewhere safe. And once I've done that, I'm going to add the egg and that into the dough. So I'm going to make a hole in the center of the flour, the ginger and the sugar, and pour in this. Make sure it's all nicely in there. I'm going to get my my favourite tool, which is this, and then I'm going to keep whisking that around until it's all in there. So get that in and mix it all in nice until it makes a nice dough in here. Get it all mixed in really well. And it should start to firm up and make into a bit of a dough. Once I've done it with that, of course, I can. Well, let's get the rest of the liquid in. Make sure we've used it all up. Okay, now I'm coming to the end of the kneading bit here, and my dough, as you can see, is a fairly firm mix, not too wet, but it's not sticking to the bowl very much. So I've got most of those ingredients incorporated there. What I'm going to do now is generously flour the surface that I'm working on, so nothing sticks to it. Put that out of the way. Generously flour the surface, and then I'm going to turn my dough out onto it, every last little bit onto there. And now I'm just going to again make sure that it's all incorporated properly, and I'm going to roll it, and we're aiming now to roll this out into something which is about 3, I don't know, roll it out until we've got about 3 millimeters in thickness. So I'm going to do that now. Just make sure it's not sticking. So I'll get my roller, and now I'm going to roll the dough. Make sure you do it both ways. The thinner you make it, of course, the more gingerbread men you get from it. But you don't want to make it too thin, because they become a little bit brittle and fall to pieces quite easily. So I'm rolling it out like this, and I'm making still sure that it's easy to move around. And I should get 12 to 18 gingerbread men out of this dough. So keep on rolling. I think probably that's about thin enough there. Okay. Maybe just a little bit more. And now what I'm going to do is just simply cut. Now what I have got is a very inexpensive gingerbread man cutter. You can get sets, of course, but this one is quite inexpensive. I think I paid about 70 pence for it. And I'm going to now cut them. What you also need, of course, is somewhere to put them. So what I like to use, if you can see it there, is a baking sheet. I've got a metal sheet here, and I like to use some silicone sheets. They're very, very good. You don't have to grease them. And I'm going to cut my first gingerbread man. So here we go. One, squeeze it together and place it in place. There it goes. There it goes, he says. Okay. So that's the first one done. And then we carry on doing that. So I'm going to cut, squeeze, move it around, unstick it, squeeze. When you come to the end of your cutting, you'll realise you've got an awful lot of dough left here. So all I'm going to do is reincorporate that dough together and then roll it out again. You want to leave a little bit for making the actual Christmas decoration when you've done all this. So take that away, roll my dough again, and you can get loads more. One thing to be aware of is if you put them too close together on the baking tray, they will all join hands. In other words, they do spread a wee bit, and if they start to spread, then they will join into one solid lump of gingerbread men. You can cut them when they cool a bit, but just keep them, as I've done there, a little bit separate. So here we go again. Cut, bring up, and place on your tray. Cut, bring up, place on your tray. We now need to make them into gingerbread figures, so what I use for that is a simple wooden skewer, and all I'm going to do is make 2 eyes, fairly deep, a nose, and for a mouth, all I'm going to use is a spoon with a rounded edge on it and put it down that way round, and it smiles at you. And you can put in a button here if you want, but we're going to decorate that in a different way in a minute. So move it over and we'll do another one. Let's do this one. Okay, so we make an eye, a nose, we put a mouth in, and a button here. And that's basically what happens. We keep on doing that until we've decorated all our gingerbread men. Dough that I have left over, I use a small cutter, but first of all I roll it out until it's a little bit thinner maybe than the original dough, and then I get this wonderful little cutter which actually pushes out this shape. This is a holly shape. I think I bought this in Lakeland. You push down and you push up, and then you just squeeze it, and I'm going to squeeze this one onto my hand, and you carry on doing that. So there they all are, all ready to go into the oven. So that's what I'm going to do next. The oven's been preheated, and I'm just going to pop them in for 10 minutes. So that's the next step. Let's do it. So gingerbread men all ready to go in the oven. Oven's been preheated. Open it up and pop them in. See you in about 10 minutes, guys. You take care now. And that's it. We now have to wait. So I'm going to put the timer on for 10 minutes. Well, there's the oven timer going, so I'm going to turn that off now. Open the door. They've been in there for 10 minutes. And oh, there they are. Come on, lads, out you come. And I think you'll find that they're looking absolutely delicious. So I'm just going to put them up on the top now to just cool off a wee bit. Well, there they all are, my gingerbread men. My Christmas gingerbread men. Not all of them perfect, but of course neither are we? But they taste good, and I'm sure whoever's going to eat these will enjoy them. Have a go at making your own and see what you think. They're very simple and they're very easy to do, and I did all that in just under half an hour, so not bad. Well, thank you for watching this short video on the making of gingerbread men for Christmas. I'm just going to have a taste now. It certainly tastes of ginger, and actually it's quite nice. A bit more than that, I think. It's quite moreish. Have a go at making your own. I hope you enjoy doing it, and I think a nice cup of espresso to go with this would be absolutely fine. The espresso and the ginger making a very, very good taste. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy doing it. Have a nice Christmas, and I'll see you baking again soon. Bye-bye.